Alright, so what is up everybody? Welcome back to another video. So, it's been quite a couple of days since I made a new video, and ALS dropped a quality of life update, which is a Dragon Ball team, I think. I don't know why. The main character is Calf, but the main unit come from multiple anime. So, uh, but they added something new this update. Not something new, but like they added more stuff, which is a new Abyssal Trial, which is right here, and the character is gonna be Shu. Now I've already grind this entire thing, yes, and yeah, I just gotta claim it and let's. The grind wasn't that bad, I gotta say. Compared to Anos, it's not that bad, literally. But you do need Immortal King for one of the quests. But more specifically, this quest right here. Make enemies walk backward. Make 500 enemies walk backward. I only know Immortal King as the character that do that. I can't really think of any other character that can do that. There are probably other characters that can do that, but I just can't really think of one right now. So, oh, I need 200 Prodigy Crystal. Shit. Well, I need to grind it a little bit now. So yeah, I'll see you guys when I finish.
1 hour later.
Oh, Overlord again. Fine, I'm keeping it. Bro, I spent like 700. Almost 700. Gosh darn it. Well, let me do a showcase then, since I've gotten every unit from this update except Tengen. So yeah. So Shusui right there. I have Bulma as well. And then I have a Calf as well. Wait, sister. There you go. And lastly, I'm gonna bring Ichigo as well since he got what's it called? He got rework. Alright, now we're in game. Let's do a showcase. Now I already know a little bit of what Bulma and Calf does, but still let me do a showcase on them. Alright. So let's just first do a showcase on the GOAT Ichigo himself. Thankfully, I rolled a glitch on him recently. Because he used to be Avatar, same with Sukuna as well. So, Ichigo, with Glitch, Glorious, Triple S everything, and Crit Range Skill Tree. Um, now, the first thing that you notice immediately is that he has a Rage bar, or a Mastery bar in this case, and he immediately has his ability on Upgrade 0, which is huge, okay? Alright, so let's read his passive. The first one is his ability, which basically means that if you use his ability, it will buff his damage by a certain amount and his SPA for 30 seconds, and he will also gain a temporary chance to deal 2-time damage on attacks during the 30 seconds. This ability has a 90-second cooldown, so I recommend putting this on auto ability as soon as you place him down. Next, his first passive is called the Swordsman Mastery, which is his entire mastery, which is every attack he will gain 2 mastery, and then it will keep going up and up and up, and it doesn't decrease, unlike Asta or Yuno. On 25, he will unlock a passive called Shinigami and gain plus 10 crit damage. On 50, he will unlock a passive called Holo, and he will also gain plus 10 range. And lastly, at max mastery, he will unlock a passive called Quincy, and he will also buff his damage by 10%. Now, his first unlock, which is 25, will make him so that every 5 attacks he will gain plus 5% damage, which will max at 35%, and each mastery threshold is reached, it will increase the cap by 15%, cap of 30%. So what this means is that each mastery cap threshold reached, so this passive is gonna be buffing their own passive. Okay, so the higher the mastery you reach, the higher the damage gain as well, not just on top of it. It's on top of the 35%. The next passive is the 50 mastery, which will make it so that every 45 seconds, Ichigo will deal 5 times his damage to all enemies. And it will also apply a better fear and despair. So yeah, which you can see right here, he has despair, he has pressure already, which is another thing that you gain when where you okay, so he actually deal pressure, but I didn't actually read where he actually deal pressure. Anyway, on max mastery, he will gain plus 20 range, plus 20% range, I'm sorry, plus 15% crit damage, and minus 10% SPA, and he will also gain pressure. Okay, so if you max out his mastery, he will gain the pressure attack effect. And he will also deal 50% damage to all element, and as well ignore all elemental disadvantages, because along with his what's it called, godly passive. But the thing is, if you see right here, this is attached to his passive, so you don't really need. So Ichigo on his own basically already has no debuff. Even if you don't use him as a leader, he himself will not deal any disadvantages, which is kind of funny because light doesn't deal any disadvantages on their own. So yeah, and he will also deal additional 100% to dark enemies, so he will deal 400% his damage to dark enemies. And the next thing, he also, for every 50% HP that the enemy has more than his unit damage, he will deal 1.5 times his damage to that enemies, which will cap at 150%. Okay, so let's start upgrading. Also another thing, his cost got decreased by 300, so now he costs 700. Previously he cost 1000 if I remember correctly. His first upgrade is really cheap, which will increase his damage to 10k, 16 million now for 2000, almost 28 million, almost 46 million, and then 74 million. And then this is where he will get a new attack called the Crescent Moon Dash. Let me actually turn on his effect. There you go. This is the effect. I think it's still the same even before. So yeah, it will cost 18,500, and it will increase his damage to 185 million. Okay, so this is his current stat: 80 range, 3.7 second SPA, which is really fast. Next upgrade, which increases damage to 204 million, 220 million. He's really cheap so far. Not that much of a difference. 260, and this is another big one. It's called Final Getsuga Tensho, which will increase his damage to 464 million, and then 557 million, and then 650 million, and then lastly 757 million. So, and then 882 million. So this is max without abilities and without any buff as well. 882 million, 126 range, and 5.57 second, 5.55 SPA. And if I pop his ability, it will increase his damage to 1.18 billion, and his SPA to 3 seconds. So he is insanely good. I would say he's currently in the top 3 best godly in the game, and he's also not that expensive at all to max. He costs right below 1 million cash. So the next unit is gonna be, let me actually place Ichigo back down. It's gonna be Bulma. So yeah, Bulma is gonna be a farm unit. I have her currently with entrepreneurship. She doesn't have any passive currently, but she already made her, the money back that I spent on placing on her by 70. So that is really good. The next upgrade is gonna be cost 1500, which I will make the money back immediately. And the same thing with this one as well. So as you notice a little bit, she's kind of like proportion. You spend this much on her and she will give it back to you. So yeah, except this one. You spend 7.3 thousand, and she will give you 5.7k, and then 10k, 7k, which is a really good. It's not that bad actually. 2,000 different. And oh, that is a really big jump. Let me go back. I didn't even saw that because I skipped it. So you spend 14,000 and she will make you 23,000, 19,000. She will make you 60,000. So yeah, that's a big thing. And lastly, on upgrade 9, you will need to pay 50,000, but you don't actually increase her how much money she makes. But instead, you will get an ability, and the ability is called the Wish Ball, which is a passive as well, which will activate it, or you gain the ability after 7 waves. So yeah. So if you're using Bulma, you want to max her out as fast as possible, so you can activate that Wish Ball ability as fast as you can. Now, to basically fill up this bar, it's basically 1 per round. So you will need 7 rounds to basically, or 7 waves to max out this passive. So while we wait for that, let me showcase another unit called, let's actually showcase Sushu Flicker. Now this is Sushu Flicker. That is the animation like there, pretty nice. He will cost 800,000 to place on placement, and he will also have Sunburn around 27 range and 5 and 4 second SPA. He will have 2 passive. The first one is like a co-passive that he will have with an ally. So the highest damaging unit in his range will be afflicted with the Envy passive by Shusui. And what the passive does is that every time that unit, for example, let me place down Ichigo right here. See, and Ichigo has Envy on top of him. So what that means is that every time Ichigo attack, there will be a 25% chance for Shusui to perform a follow-up attack, which will deal 75% of the unit that is being marked with Envy's damage. So yeah, that is pretty good, but sadly it doesn't afflict any status effect. So for example, if Ichigo has Despair or the unit has like Sunburn or Burn, it doesn't deal Sunburn or Burn, it just deals that damage alone. So yeah, and this attack is also will not be affected by this unit SPA. So for example, Ichigo currently has a faster SPA than Shusui. So yeah. Next, his second passive is called Growing Envy, which will make it so that when this unit fail a follow-up attack, for example, it will increase the follow-up attack chance by 2.5%, which will cap at 25%. And then after this unit after this unit fail a follow-up attack for 10 times, which you need to be quite unlucky, he will gain 25% damage and 25% range permanently for the entire game. So yeah. So the second passive is only activated if you're really unlucky. So yeah, let's start upgrading him now. 2.7 million for 5.56, and he'll also his hybrid already, so that's good. That's good. Next 60 million line AoE, 91 million, 100 a bigger line AoE, and this is max around 270 million damage with Overlord, 74 range, and then almost 10 second SPA, which is kind of sad. And he will also change his Sunburn to Blaze now. So yeah. And he will also gain 2 ability. Now these 2 ability share the same cooldown, so you can only use one of them. The top one, which is the Halt one, will make it so that he will freeze all enemies on the map for 75 seconds. And then during that time, he will gain 50% damage and 30% crit rate against enemies that are afflicted with the Blaze passive. And then after the freeze end, all the buff that he has during that time will be removed. And then for the next 100 second, attacks have a chance to miss 50% and do 50% less damage. So yeah, that's kind of sad. But with the reverse one, all enemies will reverse walk for 25 seconds on the map. And then during that time, he will deal 50% more dot damage, and if the enemy unit has Blaze afflicted on them, it will apply Weaken as well to them. And then after it ends, as well, all the buff got removed, and then, you know, same thing as well, 50% chance to miss and 50% less damage. So yeah, this is Shusui. I mean, he's good, but I don't think he's meta, honestly. So yeah. Next unit, let me actually go back to Bulma. So Bulma, she has her ability now. With the Summon Wish Dragon, you will have 3 options. The first one is the Wealth one, which will make it so that you will get 377,000 money, and then it will also increase all of the farm unit income by 20%, which is really good. The second one is Power, which will buff unit damage by 20%, permanently for the entire game. And then lastly, for time, it will decrease the cooldown of the unit ability by 25%. Now you can only use this ability once, and then it will also only affect that player that has that Bulma unit. So yeah. So for example, if I want to use the, let me actually max out Ichigo. Let's see. So Ichigo max out. There you go, 182 million. Let me use the power one. Power. There you go. He has 1 billion now permanently because it's buff. It will buff every unit damage by 20%. Now let me check actually. What if I sell Ichigo and upgrade him back? So he will. I think he still has the passive, but let me actually check. And while we do that, let me actually place down the Super Sister and let's do a showcase on her. I mean them. She has Avatar, and then she will start out with 2 million, 30 range, and 4.46. Not that bad. She's also pretty cheap to place down, and she has 7 upgrade firstly. No passive yet, and she will gain an ability. And yeah, so if one thing about the Super Sister is that they are basically Goku and Vegeta from Anime Vanguard. They are swappable, but only one time, okay? So let's use her ability, and they will swap into a new unit. And there you go. This is a Khalifa. And then she will be full AoE, 121 million, 50 range, and 7.43 SPA. No passive as well, but with crippled now. She's actually pretty decent, actually. And let's just keep upgrading her. And she will also get another transformation, which is the last one. And I will use that right now. Let me check if Ichigo have his Bulma passive permanently on him. Okay, so the Bulma passive is permanent literally. So for example, if you have a unit, you sell the unit and you place it back down, it will still have the 20% damage buff. Same thing with the unit that you haven't placed down yet. So yeah. So this is super clever. Let's start upgrading her. As you can see, her damage is kind of fluctuating because she has 2 passive. The first one is called the Fuse Fighter. This unit's strength has the strength of 2, which will make it so that crit will deal 100% more damage instead of 50%. And then every 3 attack, this unit will deal 2 times of her damage, which is insanely good. This is insanely good. Every 3 attack, that is insane. Next one is called Overwhelming Power, which will make it so that every 5th attack, she will deal 5 times her current damage and stun herself for 5 seconds sadly. But once this stun happen, or this stun wear off, she will deal 5 times of her damage to all units on the map, which is kind of like a mini full AoE. And then lastly, her last passive is called the Critical Counter. When the unit is stunned, her next attack will deal 25% more damage and have 100% crit chance and deal 150% crit damage. So yeah, if this unit gets stunned, she will deal more damage. So yeah, as you can see right there, her her crit rate just got increased by 50% from the Fuse Fighter. So yeah, 15%. So let's start upgrading her. She is insanely good, that's one thing. So I recommend getting her. She is better than Shusui, which is the Abyssal Trial unit. So yeah, you get her from the new portal. 80,000, and then lastly, there you go. And then she will have ability. This ability is like a mini nuke or a spammable one, which will make it so that if you click it, she will deal 25 times her damage to all enemies in her range and apply a detonate off this multiplier, and then it will also stun this unit for 30 seconds. But once the stun has ended, she will gain 25% more damage, 30% more range, minus 15% SPA, and a plus 10% crit rate for the next 60 seconds. So this is a spammable ability, yeah. So yeah, so that is like all the good unit from this update. Sadly, I haven't got time to evolve Technet yet, but I would recommend getting him as well because he's not that hard to get. He's a banner unit, but the main unit, of course, super clever, easily. Like look at this damage, man. This is incredible damage, and with this passive as well, which is incredible. So yeah, that is all for this video. I would like to say thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.